back to you.
Stu, thanks so much. We're going to be letting you check on other areas where there's been damage. Right now, we want to check in meteorologist Rich Fields, who's been watching social media. And Rich, while you're showing us some of the messages we've been receiving, the texts and tweets, we're also going to be showing some of the earlier video of damage tonight, so we'll all be talking about that, so you take it from here.
Very good, Ken. Yeah, as you can imagine, social media just exploding. Twitter, some of the tweets coming in, and hundreds of them, by the way, over the course of the last hour or so here on KCAL 9. If we can go to the weather computer, and I'll show you some of First tweet comes in from Jedi Charmed, and he says, I left my room because there's a gas line in my room. Can you imagine? One of the first things you should do if you feel that there's any gas problems is take that wrench, go out there and shut that gas off right away. This one's from Mick Huey. It says, at Irish Fields, I was watching you all cut into your weather forecast. Glad you're okay. Felt it in Riverside. This one says, it was bad in Huntington Beach. That's from HB Katie. Another one coming in says, at Irish Fields, that earthquake was big. I'm in Rancho Cucamonga, and I felt two big bangs and then the shaking. Another one coming in says, we didn't feel anything at all at my place, but the pool water sloshing back and forth. We're hearing that over and over all night tonight. Hang on a second, looks like some more coming in now. This one here's from Coco Mamula. It says, at Irish Fields, I felt it in California City. More coming in. Quake started with a sharp jolt, then rolling. Seemed like forever. This one says, playing my game console, literally dropped it while it was charging. It's okay, and I jumped under the table. So a lot of different things folks are experiencing out there. We heard from callers on the air in high-rises in North Hollywood how the buildings are on rollers shaking back and forth, and we're still collecting some of the data from Facebook and Twitter, and I'll have a little bit more coming up in a couple minutes. Kent, Susie, back to you guys.
Okay, Rich, thank you so much for that. And where Michelle was in Anaheim, not too far from there, at Disneyland, rides at Disneyland were stopped just as a precaution this evening. We want to show you a picture now. This is obviously Main Street, and a large crowd of people leaving the park. They were encouraged to leave, but not evacuated this evening. Again, the rides were closed just as a precaution, and no reports of any injuries there at the park.
Yeah, it does look like a big crowd. It's a Friday night. It's spring break time, and the weather is good, so you can see a big crowd in Anaheim tonight at Disneyland. The rides shut down as a precaution, as it shows on the screen. This was not an evacuation, no reports of any injuries. Speaking of things that get shut down and get inspected, the MTA is reporting into us right now that all MTA Metro Rail trains, the light rail commuter lines, have been inspected. That may not mean physically inspected, but they can tell if there are track breaks by looking at big monitor boards in their staging center. And the MTA is reporting no damage along any of the Metro Rail train lines. So that's good news for late night commuters.
And just a quick little update on the swarm of earthquakes that we've had this evening. The 3.6 quake originally reported at 8:03 p.m. near La Habra. That was a foreshock of the larger quake that came at 9:09 p.m. That was a 5.1. And two more relatively bigger aftershocks were reported at 3.4 at 9:12. 3.6 at 9:30 p.m., but officials report up to 20 aftershocks since that bigger earthquake. So lots of rock and rolling out there tonight.
And certainly right here in La Habra, take a look at this La Habra clothing outlet. This is a twit pic we just received right here at CBS 2 and KCAL 9. A reminder that you are watching as we hit 10:30 on the dot. KCAL 9 News at 10 and a special report on CBS 2. Kent Shocknick, Susie Sa, Rich Fields. This La Habra clothing outlet had some serious damage. Lots of broken glass down on the sidewalk outside. And if you're in an area, here's an interior from looks like a house. It looks like some cabinetry has given way, also in La Habra, with things spilling out onto the floor. If you're in an area where you have seen